Hello, welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you've never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. Today we're making sloppy joes. This one is gonna have peppers and onions in it, but I'm gonna make another version that doesn't, because you know I don't like that stuff. But I'm gonna make it today for the husband. So first rule, get everything ready. Mise en place. So I'm gonna do a can of tomato sauce. This is like the sauce. We're gonna add to that a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Delicious. Quarter cup brown sugar. Then let's pretend I put a squirt of yellow mustard. I'm all out, but it should have a squirt of yellow mustard in it. Let's get this together. And then we're gonna set this aside or start prepping our vegetables. Usually you use a green pepper, but my husband really prefers red peppers, and these yellow orange peppers are the same as a red pepper, just sweeter. But the recipe calls for a green pepper. So you can put a green pepper in here if you want, but I'm gonna put a yellow pepper. I'm just going to cut it into strips, and then I'm just gonna dice it down into, like, you know, not a fine dice, just like maybe a medium chunk. I'm using 1 1/3 cup of ground beef, but this is pretty flexible. You could probably down to a pound, probably up to 2 pounds, and you would be totally fine. So that's 1 pepper, and then I'm gonna add probably 1 onion, although this is a pretty good size onion. But do veg like this, I try to do like equal parts. So it looks like there's going to be a little more onion than there's going to be pepper, which is not ideal, but what am I going to do with a little end of an onion? So I'm just going to put it in. He loves it. It'll be totally fine. Let's get all this veg into the pan. Get started sweating it down. We're gonna start on like medium high heat. Put a little bit of olive oil in there just to get everybody lubed up and ready to go. Then we're gonna do some pepper and some salt. Just want to create those layers of flavor. We'll toss. Now we don't really want to brown them. We just want to sweat them. And what that means is cook them up and get them like soft and translucent. So even though I have it on medium-high heat right now to get things going, as soon as I start hearing it sizzling or cooking, I'm gonna turn it down to like a medium heat. And we're just gonna do this for a couple of minutes and let all of the flavor sort of melt together and help the veg melt down and get soft, because that's what we're looking for. It's starting to sizzle a little bit, okay? So I turned it down to medium heat because, like I said, we just wanna sweat them out. Now for my picky eater gang, like me, I'm not gonna eat this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of the beef in a small pan, and I'm gonna make myself a little side of this without the onions and peppers in it. So my 1 1/3 is gonna turn into like a pound. So I probably have too much veg, but he loves veg. It's been a couple of minutes, our onions are starting to get translucent. So that means like you can see through them, right? They're starting to become translucent. That's what that means. We're gonna put in garlic. You guys know I love it. I use it every day. I love my crushed garlic. So my husband's not a huge garlic person, so I'm gonna put 2 cloves of garlic in here. I'm gonna put 1 clove of garlic in my meat sitting over here, which is my picky eater version. I've not put any meat in here yet. You're just gonna saute that garlic. This pan isn't even on. My picky eater pan isn't on. You're just gonna saute that garlic up for like a minute. You don't want to burn it until what we call is becomes fragrant. So like right now, all I can smell is the onions and the peppers. But in about a minute, we'll be able to start smelling the garlic. And then we'll know it's time to add the ground beef. Our garlic is fragrant. We're gonna push all of this veg and garlic to the side, out of the way, and we're gonna put our ground beef in. Okay, ground beef is so versatile. Just gonna chunk it up. We can start browning it up. As soon as I get it chunked down a little bit, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. Now, hopefully it's not too confusing for people because I'm doing my picky eater one over here. Now that it's a little bit broken up, I'm gonna put just a little salt and pepper on my meat side. We're just gonna get that browned up. And I would say like, you know, 3/4 of the way cooked. So we're just gonna brown it up, mix it up. And as soon as it gets brown, I'm gonna mix it in with the veg. Our meat is pretty much browned up. So we're gonna stir the veg into it, get it all incorporated together. I'm gonna add the sauce that we made up. Oh, almost spilled it everywhere. We're gonna add that sauce that we made up earlier. Got everything combined. We're gonna bring it up to like a high simmer just to kind of get everything jamming. And then we're gonna turn it down to a medium low. And we're just gonna let it simmer for like 5 or 10 minutes just to cook the meat through, soften the veggies, but more importantly, just get all these flavors like melded together and in love, right? So this is a high simmer. We're gonna turn this down to medium, and we're gonna get this down to a low simmer. We're gonna let it simmer 5-10 minutes. I'm having my picky eater version on white bread. She's simmering away here. She's thickening up. You can see she's getting thick. Draw a line, right? So just want to get rid of as much of this liquid as we can. We want it to be saucy, but we want it to be together. So just a few more minutes. Taking a bite while I wait for yours to finish. So good. Here's one plated up on a Hawaiian bun. I mean, she's a messy meal, but she's delicious.